Interestingly enough, we can learn a lot about fitness and strength just by watching My Hero Academia. And that's why today we are looking at two specific strategies that Izuku Midoriya used to build his physique and how you can use these strategies in your own training. The first strategy that Midoriya uses to get stronger is applying one of the most fundamental principles for gaining muscle and increasing strength, progressive overload. In simple terms, progressive overload means that we want to progressively increase the difficulty of our workouts to give our bodies a reason to adapt. And we can see this right at the beginning of his training, where Midoriya is cleaning the beach as a form of resistance training. At the start, he was struggling with carrying the bigger objects, so he had to focus on smaller things. And then later on, by progressively building up his strength, he managed to move the bigger objects and to clear the whole beach. And we have to do the same in all workouts. I mean, you don't have to move trash around, like calisthenics and resistance training is totally fine here. Although props to you if you help keep the environment clean. What I mean is that we have to make our workouts more difficult over time if we want to get stronger and build muscle. The same workout that we did a year ago and that helped us to improve a lot is likely not enough anymore for us to even see small improvements. So how do we apply progressive overload to our workouts? And it's quite simple. Basically, every workout you either increase the sets for an exercise, like instead of 3 times 8 push-ups, you do 4 times 8, or you increase the amount of reps. So instead of 3 times 8, you do 3 times 9. Or you do a more difficult variation. For example, instead of normal push-ups, you do feet elevated push-ups in your next training session. And if you are into resistance training instead of calisthenics, you can just add weight to your exercise to make it more difficult. And here on the screen, you can see an example how your workout will change over time using these principles. And with that, we can look at the second strategy that Midoriya uses to improve. And this is more of a meta strategy, namely his data-driven note-taking habit. Okay, while saying this out loud, it sounds much more sophisticated than it actually is. So we see Midoriya quite often writing things down into his notebook, either about other heroes' abilities, new techniques that he wants to try, or general improvements he wants to make to his gear and fighting style. And we can take this habit and apply it to our workouts in a slightly different way. So basically, we want to take notes during our training to document our progress, which we can use later on to make changes to our training and to develop our own optimal personalized workout plan. And I can show you really quick how I'm doing that. So I got a notebook and I'm writing down the exercises that I did each workout together with the number of sets and reps that I could complete. And as you can see, I'm using abbreviations here because I don't want to spend too much time on note writing in my training. And you can just do this between sets. It really doesn't take a lot of time. And yeah, it doesn't have to be a physical notebook. You can also just use like a note-taking app on your phone. But I like to write on paper, and also then I don't have the distractions from using a phone with all the other apps. So that's why I got this. And documenting your training in this way is useful because on the one hand, it helps you to keep track of your progressive overload, so you don't have to remember how many reps you did in your past training sessions. And on the other hand, it's also a great way to see if you're actually progressing. So you can compare your numbers from last month with this month, and if you notice that you don't really improve anymore, then you might want to adjust your training plan. And reasons for not progressing anymore can be many. Some common culprits are not resting enough, training too little, training too much, not sleeping enough, or eating unhealthy. And to find out what's holding you back, you will often need to experiment a bit. But again, this data-driven approach helps you to identify exactly which changes to your training and lifestyle are actually improving your results. Okay, so I hope this video gave you some good idea on how to structure your training and how to progress. I hope you have a pleasant workout, and bye!